Good evening. The escalating situation reached a critical point just hours ago. Naval forces are on high alert as the international community watches closely.
The silence of the Arabian Sea shattered without warning. A sudden, violent ripple pulsed across the water as a barrage of missiles, their fiery trails cutting through the pre-dawn darkness, screamed towards their target. On the deck of the USS Eisenhower, the colossal silhouette of a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, claxons blared to life. Sailors scrambled to their battle stations, the air thick with the smell of ozone and jet fuel. This was not a drill. The metallic clang of the phalanx CIWS rotating to engage the incoming threats was followed by a deafening roar as the close-in weapon system spat a torrent of 20mm rounds into the sky. Explosions blossomed in the distance, some farther, some perilously close, painting the horizon in flashes of brilliant, terrible light. The sheer scale of the attack was immediately clear. A coordinated, multi-vector assault aimed at the heart of American naval power in the region. This was not simply a skirmish. It was a declaration written in fire and steel. According to Iranian state media, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy launched what it termed a decisive and retaliatory strike. The primary target, they claimed, was the American aircraft carrier, the USS Eisenhower. Official broadcasts on press TV detailed a multi-pronged attack utilizing a combination of land-based anti-ship ballistic missiles and sea-skimming cruise missiles launched from fast attack craft. Iranian military spokesmen stated the operation was a success, claiming multiple direct hits on the carrier, crippling its flight deck and rendering it combat ineffective. They presented grainy, low-resolution footage allegedly showing missiles impacting the vessel, creating massive plumes of smoke. The symbolic message, as articulated by IRGC commanders, was one of asymmetric power. The strike was framed as a direct response to what they called American aggression, proving that even the most powerful symbols of U.S. military might are vulnerable. But the story quickly became far more complicated. Before we break down the American military's official response and the advanced defensive systems involved, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest dramatic developments shaping global geopolitics. According to the Pentagon and U.S. Navy officials, the narrative presented by Iran was a fabrication. The USS Eisenhower, they confirmed, was the target of a large-scale and complex missile attack, but the outcome was drastically different. U.S. military statements reported that the carrier's formidable layered defense system performed exactly as designed. The Aegis combat system, operating on escorting destroyers like the USS Arleigh Burke, successfully tracked and intercepted the majority of the ballistic missiles at high altitude. Any that penetrated this initial screen were then engaged by the ship's own evolved Sea Sparrow missiles and the final layer protection of the phalanx CIWS. Navy spokesman stated that the carrier sustained zero damage and that all personnel were safe. They described the Iranian footage as propaganda, potentially from a training exercise or a digitally altered video. Between these two narratives lies a complex reality that analysts are still working to understand. To understand the gravity of this event, one must first understand the strategic significance of the USS Eisenhower. An American aircraft carrier is more than just a ship. It is a floating piece of sovereign U.S. territory, a mobile airbase, and a potent symbol of global power projection. The Eisenhower carries an air wing of over 60 advanced aircraft, from F/A 18 Super Hornets to electronic warfare planes, capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away. It is the centerpiece of a carrier strike group, a naval armada that includes guided missile cruisers, destroyers, and a nuclear-powered submarine. Its presence in the Arabian Sea is a strategic linchpin for CENTCOM, providing air superiority, intelligence gathering, and a rapid response capability to protect key shipping lanes and reassure regional allies. Attacking a U.S. carrier, even if unsuccessfully, is a direct challenge to America's ability to operate freely in international waters and project force across the globe. The message was clear: no asset is off limits. The immediate military reaction from Washington was swift. The Pentagon placed all U.S. forces in the Middle East on the highest state of alert. B-52 bombers stationed in Qatar were seen taking to the skies, and intelligence assets, from satellites to reconnaissance drones, were retasked to monitor every IRGC base along the Iranian coast. Regionally, the response was a mix of alarm and frantic diplomacy. The UAE and Saudi Arabia immediately convened emergency security councils, their economies deeply intertwined with the stability of the Gulf. That spike in regional tension has consequences far beyond military posturing. Global oil markets reacted instantly. Brent crude futures surged over 7% within an hour of the news, reflecting fears that the Strait of Hormuz, the choke point for nearly a third of the world's seaborne oil, could be closed. In the corridors of the United Nations, urgent calls for de-escalation were made by European and Asian powers, who warned that any further action could ignite a conflict with catastrophic economic fallout. Back in the United States, the attack triggered a political firestorm, with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle demanding a firm response, though they remain divided on what that response should be. Iran maintains that its forces successfully struck and neutralized a symbol of American military dominance. The United States maintains that its advanced naval defenses thwarted the attack completely, exposing the IRGC's claims as baseless propaganda. This incident, regardless of the true battlefield outcome, has irrevocably raised the stakes in the long-simmering shadow war between Washington and Tehran. The attack on the USS Eisenhower has pushed the delicate balance of deterrence to its absolute limit, creating a new and dangerous precedent. For global markets, regional stability, and the thousands of military personnel now on high alert, the gap between claim and reality has become a treacherous space where a single miscalculation could have devastating consequences. Will this massive missile strike remain an isolated incident, or is it the beginning of something far larger? Stay tuned for further updates as this situation continues to develop. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the latest dramatic geopolitical developments shaping the world.